Ghislaine Maxwell has been sentenced to 20 years in prison over sex trafficking offences. The British socialite was convicted in December for helping Jeffrey Epstein sexually abuse 4 girls between the years 1994 and 2004. For more reaction now, we're joined live from New York by the CNN reporter Jean Caceres. Jean, can you bring us up to speed? What a day it was.
It was a long day. It was almost an all-day proceeding, and we thought it was going to be relatively short, but Ghislaine Maxwell was there. She was in a navy blue prison jumpsuit. She had shackles around her ankles. U.S. Marshals would be by her side if she would walk at all. But the judge, in pronouncing the sentence, said that it had to be significant. Now, the prosecutor, the U.S. Attorney's Office, had wanted 30 to 55. But the judge ruled 20 based upon the sentencing guidelines at the time. But the judge also said what was significant to her was there was really never any acceptance of responsibility during the course of the pleadings at all, and thought that was important. Also, she wanted to make sure everyone realized, especially Maxwell, that she was being sentenced for her conduct, not the conduct of Jeffrey Epstein. Now, it's interesting because I think people were shocked when Maxwell herself stood up and walked to the podium to deliver an allocution before the court. But she was really, I think, speaking to the victims, because here's an example of some of the things she said. She said, "I am sorry for the pain you've experienced. I hope the conviction brings you closure. I had hoped this day would bring a terrible chapter to an end. May this day help you travel from the darkness into the light." And she also said that it was difficult to address the victims and the court because of the emotion that had been in that courtroom as the victims gave their victim impact statements. And there was emotion in that court. There were 4 victims there that gave in-person victim impact statements. They would read their statement and then they would turn, and the judge allowed them to look and address their speaking to Maxwell. Here's an example of one, Sarah Ransom, and she said, "I frequently experience flashbacks, and I wake up in a cold sweat from nightmares reliving the awful experience. To this day, I attend meetings to treat alcoholism, but I've had numerous relapses and know that only by the grace of God do I continue to live." Now, the judge sentenced her to, as we said, 20 years. She will get 2 years good time credit because she was already in there for the last 2 years. There will be 5 years of supervisory probation when she gets out, and the defense has said that they will appeal this verdict because Epstein should have been in there, and she was sentenced to what Epstein was responsible for, not her own conduct. Back to you.
Jean, really appreciate that. Thank you so much for your time this morning and bringing us up to speed there. We'll talk to you again soon.